Hello and welcome back to Miami. Steven and I have returned home, and I realized that I need to catch you guys up on some things. Mostly, I just need to catch you up on the end of our trip, what happened since then, because there are some things. But let me go outside. So I'm using my iPhone. It's doing a great job, but I had to get ready whenever I use the iPhone because the resolution on here is so fantastic. I'm here to talk about the conclusion of our trip to Europe. So, first of all, if you've been watching the whole series, kind of a small sort of theme that I was playing with was the fact that I was working remotely the entire time, almost the entire time, and was able to successfully do that. I still have a job. Yay. In fact, it definitely increased my confidence level in traveling and working remotely, especially if the time zone difference isn't that big and if it's ahead. So I think that it would be more difficult if I was somewhere like Hawaii and still trying to stay on East Coast time hours. It all worked out fine. My computer performed flawlessly. I was able to get fast enough internet to do video calls. There were basically no disruptions to my work at all. That was a highlight of the trip. There were many highlights of the trip. You may have seen them by this point. Lots of really good food, lots of really fun, unique, interesting places, beautiful buildings, beautiful architecture, and I didn't mind the rain or anything. And so here is where kind of the reason why I needed to get on here today and kind of conclude this portion of the video segments. During the entire vlogging trip, Steven and I packed very lightly, so we had a carry-on bag and a backpack. Basically, I took with me all of the cameras that I had. My cameras that I use are my iPhone, which I'm using right now, iPhone 14 Pro, and my action camera. So those are the two devices that I had with me. I also had my MacBook Pro with me on the trip, as well as my SD card readers. As soon as we would get to a new place, I would take the videos from my action camera on the micro SD card, and I would put them onto my computer, just so I made sure that I wasn't losing any footage. But in Budapest, I kind of stopped using the action camera. It just wasn't convenient to carry with me, and the iPhone takes such good videos and is always in my pocket. I just started using that. We went from Budapest to London. We only spent like a night in London, and then we were getting on the plane to go back to Miami. I had been storing my action camera in a side pocket of my backpack, and when we went to the airport in London, I decided to put it inside my backpack in this little pouch that I was carrying all of my travel adapters, because I thought that it was more secure in the little pouch as opposed to on the in an outside pocket of my backpack. And it's very small. It's very easy for someone to just, kind of grab if they noticed it, which they probably wouldn't have. But anyway, regardless, I put it in there. Then when we got on the plane, we had business class seats, nice, big, luxurious size seats with outlets. Those outlets needed adapters. In the process of pulling out my adapter, I think that I pulled my action camera out and put it on the side table of my business class seat. Well, the flight attendants told me to take everything off the side table and put it in a little cubby thing prior to takeoff, which I did. And I believe that my action camera was still out at that point, and I just dropped it in that side container. Then, through the course of 8 hours on the flight, I completely forgot that I had dropped it in there. I did a visual check before I left my seat, and I did a cursory hand check of that side pocket, because in my mind, I hadn't put anything there, or whatever I had put there, I had already removed, so I didn't need to check it that much. Then we got home, basically kind of just got right back to work, unpacking all of this stuff. I didn't really think about it until I went to check to see if I had any. I didn't think I had any footage left on there because I was pretty sure that I hadn't used it since Budapest, and I already had all that footage. But I think it was Friday when I finally was able to kind of unwind, and I got to check the time, unwind and think about putting together a video. And so I wanted to double check that I didn't have any footage that I wasn't remembering on the DJI action camera. And I had taken everything out of my backpack at that point, and I had put things in the places where they're supposed to be. And I went and looked on my desk where the action camera would have been had I taken it out and it was not there. I had 2 tripods there. I had the tripod for my action camera there with the connection for the action camera, just, action camera on it. There was no action camera. It's kind of like, it was one of those moments where it's like, wait, what? Like, no, it's supposed to be there. Like, I emptied my bag and it should be right here. Like, why is it not there? Oh man, those feelings. I'm looking at my desk and there's no action camera there, and this is very distressing to me. Well, it's only I'm not letting myself get distressed about it yet. I just looked at it and I'm like, okay, it's not there. That's where I would have put it if I would have seen it. So where else could it be? I go back to my backpack. I search it. There's nothing in there. I definitely emptied it and put it away and all of that. I start trying to think of other places it could be. Basically, I searched everywhere. I searched everything, and then I racked my brain for like what could have possibly happened to it. Finally, I have to come to the realization that like I must have left it on the plane. Either it got stolen out of my backpack or I left it on the plane. But I distinctly remembered not wanting to leave it in the side pocket. So I'm like, I don't think it got stolen. So I must have left it on the plane. But then I couldn't remember how I left it on the plane, because at this point I still didn't remember that it was in that little pouch thing. Anyway, long story short, after searching the backpack again, searching everything I could think of, going back to everything, it finally started to come back to me that when I put it in my backpack for safekeeping, I put it in that little pouch. So I have since contacted American Airlines, Lost and Found. They are looking for it. They tell me it's an automated thing, so I don't know. I continue to have hope that there's a chance I'll get it back. I would really like to get it back. There's a sense of loss because I enjoyed using that camera and it was really handy. I've only had it for about 2 years now, and I definitely haven't explored as much as it can do, and would have continued to use it for a long period of time if I still had it. I didn't lose any footage. I'm so thankful to myself for making sure I was downloading the footage onto my computer on a regular basis, and thankful that I was using my iPhone towards the end of the trip mostly. So I'll still be able to make good vlogs. Obviously you might be watching one now from the Europe trip, even though I lost that camera. But needless to say, I'm down a camera. It's manageable. I still have my iPhone. It obviously takes great videos. I was kind of thinking of getting a different kind of camera anyway, so maybe this was a sign that it was time for me to upgrade to an actual real camera. So that happened on Friday. Then on Saturday, we went out on the boat, as one does when you're in Miami and you have access to boats. We had a great time. I was taking videos with my phone on our way home. Right before we were going to get off the boat for the day, I was taking a video and the boat bounced and my hand jostled and my phone fell into the ocean. And that, my friends, was a much, much worse feeling than realizing I lost my action camera. Losing your phone and knowing that there's nothing you can do about it, even though a split second ago it was in your hands and you were using it and all of these things were at your fingertips. That's not just your camera, it's also like half of your life. That was a terrible, terrible feeling. Terrible feeling. Awful. And there was no going back. It's an instant thing that happens that you can't go back. You can't fix that. It's in the ocean. It's dropping immediately to the bottom. It is, the waters are relatively clear, but not clear enough. Plus, like, none of us had any equipment to go dive for it. We were right in the middle of a channel where a bunch of other boats are going, so it wouldn't even really be safe for us to be doing that. It was just an immediate sense of like permanent loss, and that sucked. My point being in telling you all of this is that for a brief period of time I was temporarily camera-less. I had no iPhone and I had no action camera. Luckily, I was able to go to the Apple Store pretty much immediately after that happened. I got myself a temporary iPhone, which is what I'm recording myself on right now. This is my third iPhone 14 Pro. I do not know what is wrong with me. I cannot seem to keep hold of these phones. First time wasn't my fault. The first time it was stolen from me, but still, I'm going to return this as soon as I get the phone that they're sending to me, because I did pay for the insurance this time that covers it for theft and loss. So I get Apple Care every time, and you should too, for any sort of damages that happen to the phone. But they also now offer theft and loss insurance, which is a monthly payment, and or I think you can pay like $250 to cover it for like 2 years. And definitely worth it. I highly recommend. All of that to be said, I am now getting a new camera, because, like I said, I've been thinking about getting a new camera for some time anyway. This seemed like the right opportunity to do that. Seemed like maybe the universe was trying to tell me something, like, Brittany, you know what? You're a vlogger. You're not an action camera person. You need a vlogging camera, and if this is going to push you to get a vlogging camera, then there you go. So that is what I'm doing, and it will be arriving tomorrow. And I will do an unboxing and all of that for everyone. Yeah, so that's my story. That is my story of the saga of what happened after getting back to Europe. And anyway, it is 5 minutes before my meeting. I need to get back in there. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my story. And I hope to see you again soon.